Hi guys, it's Tracy from My Grandma's Teacups. I have another video for you today that's going to be the next one in our mixed media series of just kind of the getting starting with mixed media. I saw a video once and they said always explain strange things that are going to be in your video. So my hands are green, or partially, and covered in paint, and that's because I'm madly trying to get the projects done for the teachers. So I did try to scrub it off, but it's being pretty stubborn, so you're just gonna have to face the fact that I'm a mess. I did do 2 haul videos for you guys last week, and they were awesome and you would have loved them, and they were like just great stuff. And then when I went to edit the tape, I actually taped the opposite of what I meant to be taping. So I had hit stop when I had thought I had hit start, and vice versa. So what I ended up with was just a whole bunch of footage of me grabbing the stuff and putting it back in the box. And so I didn't think that you would be terribly interested in that, but they would have been great videos, guys, like top notch. So you're gonna have to trust me on that one. So instead we're gonna move on with our next piece for our mixed media, and that is stencils. And I know you think of stencils, you think of the ones that we had in public school with the great big thick plastic that you used to print your letters on your school projects, and before the Cricut. I guess I'm dating myself, but we don't use those kind of, well, I guess some people still use them. Fiskars puts out a line of those that are really useful for circles and stuff like that. But the ones that I'm talking about are the very thin plastic stencils that we can use for mixed media. So I grabbed a collection of them, and I'm just going to kind of talk to you about them. And yeah, so we'll get started. Now, Faber-Castell, as you know, makes the gelatos that a lot of people are using. If you don't have gelatos, that's okay. At some point you may want to get some. I don't have any. It's just not something that I was that invested in. But I did find these Faber-Castell mixed media stencils, and they actually are a really, really good deal. There are 10 stencils in each one of their little packages, so you get a nice variety in one set, which makes them really cheap to get started. I'm just going to show you here. So we have kind of the fleur-de-lis pattern there, mustaches and sunglasses. These are great because you'll find that you use banners on a lot of things. There's a few little birds, some butterflies, brick wall. You'll use that for a background pattern for a lot of mixed media canvases, and probably a lot of art journaling too. Maybe it's just me, has a lot of brick walls in my journaling, I don't know. These ones, the arrows are cute. These are just different background, like journaling squares that you could do. And there's some little keys here. This one, I don't know who has a birdhouse on their key, but cute. And then some like banners and ribbons. So, I mean, this is a really nice little collection to get started with. So it says they're durable, reusable paper stencils, 10 designer patterns used with a variety of mediums and texture accents. So use mixed media stencils with gelato colors and textural accents to add unique designs to mixed media projects, or use as an element in mixed media work. I wouldn't do that. I would never cut out my stencils. Use mixed media paper stencils with all your favorite design memory craft products. Carefully wipe paper stencils after use to extend their usage. So again, those are from Faber-Castell, and there are actually a few different sets. This one is good because it's a lot of different elements. There's also this one, again, 10 patterns, and it's Faber-Castell, but these are all backgrounds. So for me, if I was just starting to get into mixed media, this would be definitely one that I would recommend as a starter set. I can show you here. So I can't remember what that pattern's called. If you can see it and remember what that pattern's called, maybe if you want to put it in the comments just to share with everyone. We have a little circle one. This is the reversed circles, but it's got different sizes. There's the little chevron pattern, some stripes, got some zigzags, cross hatching, little triangles. I like the honeycomb. I tend to use that in a lot of my stuff. And this one's awesome. It's like a shattered glass effect. So again, backgrounds. So I always think, you know, when you're starting out in any kind of medium, you want to get the items that are going to give you the most mileage, that you're going to be able to use over and over in different projects. And I definitely think that this background set is a great place to go. So if you had got these 2 sets, you would have a huge variety of backgrounds and elements, and that it would be a great start. And they are not very expensive. I think they were like $5 or $6 for the set. Now, so these ones are actually, this up so you can see it. There's different kinds of stencils. These ones are paper stencils, so they're actually cardboard cutouts, but that's okay. As long as you treat them well, then they will last you a really long time. Okay, so again, those are the Faber-Castell mixed media ones. Oh, this is the other Faber-Castell one. I like this one, and it's, again, backgrounds, but for me, they're not the backgrounds that would be my go-to ones, but if you really like busy patterns and textures, then, you know, that one might be a good option for you. And this one, which is kind of cool, again, Faber-Castell, it has different sayings. So we have design your life, dream, I can't read the rest of it, love life, be awesome, that beautiful smile. There's some numbers, letters, beautiful, hello, bonjour, hola, guten tag, and then some other big numbers. For me, I really like this set because I don't have a lot of really big stamps that do have verbiage on them. So for me, this is an easy way to have nice big lettering on my projects, which I like, because I don't know, I always feel like you need to have some sort of really big title on everything. So this is a nice set too to get started. I mean, I'm not thrilled that they're cardboardish, but it's an economical start, right? So think about it. It might be the way that you want to go. So those are the Faber-Castell. Now I came across another company, and I mean, I've definitely seen the stuff over the years, but I never really got into buying them. But I'm really excited about the different patterns that they have now, and that's the Crafters Workshop. And they work with a lot of mixed media artists to design different stencils. And Gabriella Polacca actually has one of hers. I'm trying to find something. Ah, there we go. Actually, it's one of her designs in one of them, but they all have different mixed media artists. So again, it's Crafters Workshop. These are plastic, so they're going to last longer, but it's, you know, $5 kind of for this one. So, which to me, I will get a lot of use out of it because I really like the different patterns, but you won't have the variety. So, but this one's really beautiful. Oops, I better keep that black sheet there. Here's another one of the Crafters Workshop. And it's all the postal marks, which is really cute. This one is all borders. So you have, you know, this one's kind of a fall themed one. This one would look really cute on you with Christmassy kind of stuff. We've got some roses for the springtime. I don't know, that one kind of has me puzzled, but it's, I mean, it's pretty. Musical notes, if you do, you know, things that have music involved. This one is different sets of wings, which look really cool if you have a picture of a little girl or a little boy, and then you put the wings in behind them. You can use texture paste or whatever and make it really like 3D and really bring it to life. This one I thought was so cute. because it looks so simple, right? It's just the trees. But imagine those sprayed in a dark green ink or a dark green distress ink with a little bit of white sparkle snow on the top, with some texture paste. And they would just be adorable on Christmas cards. If you wanted to do a little bit of mixed media for your Christmas cards. Also, if you wanted to do some like canvas art for your holiday decorating, then they're just adorable. So, and I mean, you get different sizes, there's 3 sizes. So this one is pretty big. It's like probably 4.5 inches. And then this one's probably 3, and then that one's maybe an inch. So, I mean, you definitely have different sizes that you can work with. This one is purely decorative, so they're nice to have. It's nice to have a variety of stencils, but if you're just starting to collect them, I wouldn't start with it just something like this, just because you're not going to use it as a background as much. You're not going to use it as a focal element. It's just nice to have. So maybe put this on your nice to have list, because it is pretty, and you do get a lot of different ones on it. I just don't know if I would start there. This one I love. It's chicken wire, which seems so simple, but it has such a dramatic look when you put it on. I used it, don't know where my art journal is right now, but I was using one of these on that, and it just really, really stands out. It looks really cool with texture paste. Looks really cool with spray paints. You could use your water paints on it. Like, it's just a really versatile stencil. So, though again, it wouldn't be my first stencil that I would buy, it would definitely be on my list of ones that I would want. This one, I think it's one of those things, either you love it or you don't, but there's like a little cabin in there, and there's some trees and a lake and lots of snow and stuff. So it's a pretty stencil, but again, I'd like to have, not necessarily to start out with, but I mean, it would make some pretty lovely Christmas cards if that's what you're working on. Now these ones, I don't know why they're called Bowser Designs, but they're still Crafters Workshop. Oh, that's why. The artist is Julie Fan Bowser, so she gets her name right in there. But this would actually be a really good starter one, because you get stars, the chicken wire, and the circles. So I mean, you're getting 3 nice big areas that you could use on your mixed media in one stencil. So that's a nice one. That would be a good starter stencil. If you do a lot of vintage stuff like I do, this one's kind of on the really high on the I want it list. It's an old ledger, so yeah, if you're working on something vintage, then you can have the ledger information on the background, which is really cute. This one is splotches, and you may think, why do I need a stencil for splotches? But if you want them to be uniform on it, like as a background or repeating patterns or something like that, then this is definitely one that you would want to think about getting. I think there's actually a coffee ring in there as well, which I like. I always wanted a coffee ring stencil, and now I have like 5 of them, I think, in this pile, so I'm pretty excited about that. So the artist for this one is Jamie Echt, and she's the founder and creative director of the Crafters Workshop. So really cute stencil, basically 3 on this one. So if splotches and having them the same and so you can repeat them is your thing, then this would be a really nice stencil for that. I know a lot of you are into bird cages and birds and owls, and so I picked this one up. I don't know what I would use it for yet, just because I don't do a lot of well, I've done a few bird cards lately, but it's really pretty, and it has a variety of different bird cages, and then also the branch is pretty cool. So you'd have the option of, like, if you only wanted to do this bird cage and that branch, you could do that, or you could do them all, or you could just use part of the branch. So even though it's one big picture, there's a lot of variety you could get out of this stencil. So you may want to put it on your list of, after you get your basics, that you want to move into something like this. This stencil I bought strictly because I was thinking of a friend of ours, Karen, that's into doing all of this sea stuff right now. Just because I was thinking of this shell is pretty cool, and this one, and I love the starfish. So if you were to use texture paste on that, and then use maybe some mica on top of it, you could create really three-dimensional like underwater scenes, which I think is really cool. So yeah, so I got that one. I don't know if it's one that I will use because I don't do a lot of underwater, but it may inspire me to do an underwater. I think probably a canvas, because I don't know. I am totally in love with the one of the mermaid that Gabriella Palaka has on YouTube. She has just such a pretty mess. And I really do like that underwater look that she has going, but I'm not sure, so we'll see. I don't think this would be a must-have unless, like I said, you're Karen and you're working a ton on underwater stuff. As someone that does a lot of vintage stuff, this one is on my must-have list. It's different pieces of lace, as though the lace is laying there, but it's been torn and ripped, and this would give you like the outside lace edge, but it's kind of frayed. So I love this. This is probably one of my favorite stencils that I bought. If you don't like that look, if you're not someone that would use a lot of lace in your designs, then maybe it wouldn't be an important one for you. But for me, and for a lot of people that do vintage stuff, this is a great stencil. This one I just thought was cute. I don't know when I'll use it, but it's just koi. So definitely not a must-have, but it's cute. So, you know, you could do some Crayola markers and do like a watercolor effect on the koi, and that would look really nice. This one actually is kind of a background stamp for, or not stamp, stencil rather, for the undersea stuff, because these are all of your undersea bubbles, and so you could have them, you know, the bubbles coming up or all around your different elements. So this one's pretty cool. Again, I don't know if I'll use it, but it's definitely pretty cool looking. I know that this one I'm definitely going to use a lot, just to give me a background from my 3D flowers, right? I definitely can see myself using distress inks and creating like watercolor patterns, or also using texture paste to create dimensional leaves. So I really, really like this one. You might want to consider this one a must-have if you're someone that does a lot of florals or even just botanicals. This one's pretty self-explanatory. Again, it goes with my vintage kind of stuff that I do. Constantly looking for different patterns of doilies. So I really like that I can do this one as, you know, I can use my sprays on it and create white doilies just by having it be the opposite of this stencil, or using texture paste and stuff like that. So a lot you can do with it, but again, if you're not into the whole doily look, then this probably isn't a must-have for you, but for me this is a must-have. Okay, so for those of you that are butterfly crazy, and I know there's quite a few of you out there, Juanette, this stencil actually has a ton of different butterflies, and I think this one up in the corner is actually a dragonfly, but it's very intricate, which is nice. So, I mean, you could definitely use your pencils, like your colored pencils. You could use your chalks. You could get in there with your Pearl X, your micas, whatever. And this is just, I think it would be a go-to for a lot of people. So you might want to put that one on your must-have list. This little stencil, it's a whole lot of little tiny ones, but it gives you such a great start at building a collection because there's so many different textures here. You've got your coffee ring looks. You've got a little bit of the bubble wrap effect. This one is like the reverse bubble wrap. This is kind of like sanded down drywall paper. This one's just got some scratches in it. Just, I don't know, this one would be interesting. I don't know if because it's so fine, I don't know if that pattern would hold up to like texture paste, but it would definitely look cool for like sprays and stuff like that. And this is just kind of like a splotch, which is kind of cool. So I would put this one on your must-have list just because in one stencil you are getting 9 different looks that you can use on your canvases and journaling. Oh, I really liked this one when I saw it. It's probably not a very practical one for me, but I liked it, so I did pick it up. Just because, you know, I might use the remember on something or the life on something else, or I might use the heart, or you could use the whole picture. There's a lot you could do with this one. Again, these are all still Crafter's Workshop, and the artist on that one is Rebecca Meyer. So it actually shows you some of the things that she does in her mixed media, which is really cool. But this one is a little it's a little rough. It's more of like a, I don't want to say steampunk, but almost that kind of a feel to it. So I don't think it's a must-have. Oh, it's got some keys in it. That's kind of cute. It's not a must-have, but if you're into this, it's definitely one that, you know, you'd have a lot of fun with. This one I thought was a good idea, just because I do a lot of tags, and as you know, I don't like to sew. So this was kind of cool because it's already got the stitches on that one. This one is this is a little small, but this would put the zigzags on it for you. And this one's rather distressed. So if you do tags, this one's, you know, it's not a bad idea. I love this one. It wouldn't be a must-have, but it would definitely be a, I really, really, really want that one. Just because there's the different design elements, the architectural elements, the archway, the corner of the wall, where the brick kind of is peeking through the stucco, and some foliage that would be growing on it, and this little flourish here. So for me, this is a definitely, I really, really want it. And again, it's actually a Gabriella one too. Gabriella Polacca did that one. So there she is. And there's a picture there of her art journal, and she shows you on the picture, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that close, but the brick peeking out behind the wall there, and how she makes the stones and stuff. So, I mean, for me, I'm so happy to have this one. This one is just to have verbiage in the background. And it's just a quote about art and what it means and all that, but really it doesn't matter. It's just about having a little bit of handwriting in the background of your work. So, I don't know. I don't know whether I would say a must-have, but definitely it's up there, because I know when I'm making cards especially, sometimes I just want a little bit of writing in the background. So I think this is a nice addition for doing art journaling or working with a canvas or making cards. So it would definitely be one that you'll get a lot of use out of. So you might want to put it pretty high on the, you know, after I get the basics, I'm going to get this, because it's one, like I said, you're definitely going to use this. This one's really pretty. So we have like the little chickadee, a couple different sizes of flowers. So the little chickadee sitting on looks like the edge of a windowsill or a shutter or something, fly away. And then the arched window looks like it could possibly be like an old stained glass window. I think it would make some really pretty backgrounds. Definitely not a must-have, but really pretty nonetheless. This one is, if you're like me and don't sew, this one's really cool because it's just a variety of stitches. And the nice thing about this is if you use like a texture paste or like a gel medium with some mica or something like that, you're going to get a three-dimensional stitch on top of your work. And for me, that's big. Just because I love the look of stitch, I just hate the idea of actually having to sit down and do the stitching. So for me, this is a must-have, but I guess it's an optional for whoever. So lots of different stitches in that though. This one, again, you're getting lots of different elements that you can use. There's some writing, there's a postmark, there's some numbers, lots of variety of things that you're going to be able to use. So this isn't a must-have, but it's one that will get a lot of play. It's not something that'll just sit. I don't know how many times you'll have to use the Eiffel Tower, but the rest of it, I think you would probably use quite a lot. This might be a must-have. It's just for borders, but it's something that you will use a lot, especially if you do cards. I think in art journaling as well, you would use this. It's probably not very, it's not big enough to use on a canvas really, unless you're doing a small canvas, but it's pretty cool, and you're getting, you know, several borders on one stencil, which is nice. So okay, so this one, these next couple are not the Crafters Workshop. These are called clear scraps. This one I actually bought a friend of ours, Paula, that does a lot of nautical cards and things like that. I thought she might like it to do, you know, if she wanted to do a nautical themed canvas or something for kind of a backdrop to her card like display. So Paula, I was thinking of you when I got this one. So I think it's really pretty, and it would make a pretty cool background. And this is also from Clear Scrap, and it's a different kind of plastic as that one. It's a blue, and it's a thinner plastic, so it's not quite as heavy and durable as the Crafters Workshop. But I like this one because it has a lot of words. For the same reason as I said I like the other one. They're nice big words that you could use as a title for what you're working on. So I'm not as impressed with the thickness, but very flexible. So if you were working on doing like a bottle or something like that, then that might definitely be an advantage. So these are from Momenta, which I don't know that company at all, but the reason why I got these stencils, these aren't the ones that I saw in the video, but I did see a video where they were working with adhesive back stencils, which is what these are. And the cool thing about it is, if, like you can see here, if you're doing like glass etching or something like that, you can do a repeating pattern. The stencil will stick to your project, and then you can move it and get it exactly right, and then it'll stay there. So your patterns can be perfect, which is nice, especially if you're doing something that's not necessarily a flat project. So again, these would not be where I would start with buying stencils, but once you kind of build up your collection, I think they're probably a good investment. These are all like arrows and stuff like that, and stars and pointers. There's a couple different sets. This one's nice. It's all travel related stuff, like adventured weights and love this way, bicycles, some arrows, some like film. So again, this is once you have your collection built up a bit. And this one I like. I could see me using this on a lot of my projects just because it has more of a traditional vibe to it. We've got some flourishes. It's kind of just a plain vine, a very elaborate ribbon, a frame, actually 2 frames, like a nameplate, a couple more flourishes and leaves, and then smile, forever, true, lucky. So I really like this set. I think this is probably the one that I will use the most out of the 3. But yeah, adhesive back stencils. So I didn't open them to look at them, but just like kind of eyeing them up, they look like they are vinyl. So 16 pieces in each set. And it looks like I missed a couple. So, oh no, these were just extras of those. I don't know if I showed you the coffee splotch one. Can't remember. So yeah, this is a coffee splotch one, which you see a lot of people using in their projects. It's really neat with distress ink, because you can do it and then spray it and have that kind of I spilt my coffee look. Oh my, I feel like the Incredible Hulk here. Anyway, so yeah, this is a really cool one. This one is very, very delicate and fine flowers, flourishes, and these look like little bouquets or branches. So if you're doing, you know, something floral, very intricate, then there's that one. Oh, I did miss this one. This one's pretty cute. It's all botanicals, toadstools, and little flowers. So very cute. This one, I think, is pretty far down the list of stencils that you need to add to your collection, but it would be really cool for art journals. I don't know, some people might use it on a canvas too. The Explorer is pretty cool. So there's basically three sections. You have your Explorer, there's the dragonfly, and then there's the butterfly with a little bit of honeycomb behind it. So that one again is Crafter's Workshop. So that's all of my stencils. So I'm just going to grab a stencil, and I'm going to grab a canvas, and I'm going to show you some of the things that we can do working with stencils. Okay, hold on. Okay guys, I just grabbed some, like just a bunch of stuff just so that I can show you different things. So this is just another dollar store canvas. And of course I used gesso, and I covered the entire canvas and I let it dry completely, so it's ready for me to start working on. I think I'm going to start with our lettering, and I'll just show you how that looks. Make sure you are protecting your work surface. And I'm going to use some Cranberry Zing. Let's see if it's going to spray for me. Okay, got a little bit on there. I'm just going to use my baby wipe because I want to move that ink around a little bit. And it's not going to be perfect because I'm working with a liquid ink. And then we can lift it up. And you have rough looking a little bit more rough than I had intended, but still, it's a background, right? Okay, so that's using a stencil with spray ink. So now I'm going to work on my little bird. So you always want to start with your lightest inks. And I'm using antique linen. Now I'm moving to a tattered rose, which is just a little bit brighter. I'm going to put a little bit of tattered rose kind of on his belly. And then I'm going to a Victorian velvet. I'm going to kind of catch his hind end here and the top of him. And there we have our little chickadee. And that's using your distress inks. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you if I can get my Mod Podge open. Oh goodness. There we go. I'm just going to get some Mod Podge. And I'm just going to lightly dab it. Make sure that I get all of the spaces. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Okay, there we go. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of distressed glitter dust. I'm just letting it fall where the glue is. There we go. Then I'm going to lift. Probably should have put that on the paper. I'll clean off my stencil later. And there you have it. So there's some different techniques using the stencils, and you can layer them, which is the really cool thing about it. When you're doing mixed media, you can use all different types of mediums together. So on this one I used, again, Tattered Angels spray, I used Distress inks, I used Mod Podge and some glitter. I didn't get into the texture paste just because we're gonna do another video on that and explain that separately, but this is just, you know, a quick example of different effects that you can get using stencils. So I hope you are enjoying this mixed media series. Thank you for forgiving me for the yucky hands. And if you have any questions about stencils or about where to get stencils, or a complete list of suggestions for like kind of where to start, I gave you an idea today. Tim Holtz actually has a selection of stencils that are very nice. I do have a lot of those in the studio that I do use. I find they're a little bit pricier, but they're very good. Also, Prima has some lovely stencils, as well as Fab Scraps. So any of those are very good quality stencils that you may want to look into. But if you have any questions, then feel free to email me. It's mygrandmasteacups@gmail.com, or you can find my Facebook page, which is under My Grandma's Teacups. Or if you would like, you can place a comment down below and I'll respond. And be sure that you like my video, give it a thumbs up, green thumb, thumbs up, and also subscribe so that you can get the rest of the mixed media series as it becomes available. And thank you all for being patient while I get this series out. It was delayed last week, kind of got a little bit busy for me. The kids are kind of wrapping up all of their activities and there's a lot going on. So yeah, thanks for being patient, and we'll keep moving along and get you all doing different mixed media techniques. So if you have some stencils at home, then go ahead and get started. And if you make a project, be sure to send me a copy so that I can see it. And you can post it on my Facebook page if you'd like. And let's see what your project is. Talk soon. Bye-bye.